Hi, my name is Ida, and this is my recollection of my trip through Western Uganda that I took with at my time girlfriend. And we went to Fort Portal, Kasese, Mbarara, and finally back to Kampala. But before we get into the trip, let me give you some backstory. So, a week before we started this trip, I was robbed. My apartment was broken into, and they took my laptop, my phone, my camera. So, I was in need of a mind freshener, something to clear my mind, get my wits together, and that is how we ended up going to Western Uganda. I bought a small Nikon Coolpix underwater camera for 250k because I needed something to take pictures during the trip. And honestly, with no expectations, never having traveled here before, we set off, and our first stop was Fort Portal. So Fort Portal was amazing. The journey there was so beautiful. We passed through so many tropical natural jungles, and it was just the greenest scenery I had ever seen. The accommodation we stayed at in Fort was a really cute, small, clean, cheap hostel. And the next day we went to Lake Nakuru, which is one of the crater lakes in that region, and we swam there, and we were lucky enough to have the whole lake to ourselves. It was so green and serene and just beautiful, the most amazing start to the trip that we could have asked for. After that, we walked like a 20-minute walk to a site called Top of the World, where you see another crater lake. This was amazing. When we got there, it started raining. It rained the whole day, and we had a meal there, chilled, watched the view, and then went back to Fort. The next day we visited waterfalls, and they were gorgeous. There was first a small cave and then bigger waterfalls that felt like male waterfalls, and it was really so beautiful. We also had this place to ourselves, which was amazing. But then after that, it started raining very heavily, and the road out was extremely muddy and washing away. We rode on a border for 2 hours in the pouring rain. These border men were heroes until we finally made our way to Kasese. Like where there's Kilembe mines. It's like an old mining town, and it's so cute. It reminds me so much of Colorado, like the cute little mountain towns, like lime. So that was actually the last video I ended up taking on my camera, because after that it died, and it turns out I'd forgotten my charger. But we did not go into Mount Rwenzori National Park because of the entry fees, but we ended up driving up to Kilembe mining town, which was so beautiful and cute, and I was really sad to hear about the landslides that happened. Afterwards, we went to some hot springs down at the base of the mountain, and though they were a bit crowded, the water was really healing and nice. And the next day we went to Mbarara, and there we drove through Queen Elizabeth, which was really gorgeous scenery. And we spent one day in Mbarara and finally headed back to Kampala. It was a short trip, but it meant so much to me. I feel like I opened up my chest and my eyes and my heart and really got bitten by the travel bug. I'm so grateful to Paula for planning everything, bringing me along with her, and I hope I can get to discover more of Southern Uganda, Northern Uganda, and to continue traveling. Thank you so much for watching.